today we're back with a crash course.
And today we will be discussing the Stamp Act during the American Revolution. To start off with some background information, the French and Indian War, also known as the 7 Years' War, ended with the Treaty of Paris signed in 1763. It made the colonists very, very cranky because it limited their ability to take land from the Indians and also left them with a lot of war debt. The British government had to borrow around an estimate of £150 million, and in order to pay for the war, they decided to raise the taxes for the colonists. They're very angry because they didn't really have a say whether they should even pay these taxes that the British decided to pass.
Do we think American colonists were justified in rebelling against English rule? Yes, because first of all, the Stamp Act declared that all printed material had to carry a stamp that wasn't free. The colonists didn't even know that they were paying taxes while the Stamp Act was passed. It was used to gain revenue for Britain and mostly affected people who used a lot of paper, like newspaper printers and lawyers.
Part of the revenue from the Stamp Act would be used to maintain several regiments of British soldiers in North America, to maintain peace between Native Americans and the colonists.
To summarize, the British Parliament passed the Stamp Act to help replenish their finances after the costly 7 Years' War with France. The act, which imposed a tax on all paper documents in the colonies, came at a time when the British Parliament was in deep debt from the 7 Years' War, which lasted from 1756 to 63. And looking to its North American colonies as a revenue source, it affected many colonists who used paper, and it made them very, very angry. So, right behind me, we have the Stamp Act, and it practically just states the act for granting and applying certain stamp duties and other duties in the British colonies and plantations in America. Part of the revenue from the Stamp Act would be used to maintain several regiments of British soldiers in North America to maintain peace between Native Americans and the colonists.
Colonists rebel. In October, protesters organized the Stamp Act Congress, which after a meeting, they decided to boycott British goods. The Committee of Correspondence, created to encourage opposition to earlier acts, grew to coordinate the boycott efforts and helped people become aware of the liberties and spurred street actions that occasionally became violent. Actions were organized by groups calling themselves the Sons of Liberty. So the British Parliament repealed the Stamp Act, so they passed the Declaratory Act.
On March 18th, 1766, the Declaratory Act was passed. It basically got rid of the Stamp Act, but instead the British could tax the colonists whenever they wanted to in future reference. And people ask, why was it passed? Basically, the British Parliament passed the Stamp Act to help replenish their finances after the costly 7 Years' War with France. And so colonists got very frustrated and very angry at that. And so when they protested, I guess they got fed up with it. And so they took away the Stamp Act and instead replaced it with the Declaratory Act. So they don't necessarily really tax them on everything. It's just if they want to, they will tax them.
So, in conclusion, we believe that the American colonists definitely were justified in rebelling against British rule after the 7 Years' War. So, thanks for watching your crash course. Bye!